Hello, everybody. Be right with you. All right, let's see here. Oh, there we are. One more and we are set. 1 second here. Still not showing up on Facebook. Oh, there I am. All right, cool. And all right, here we are. Hey, everybody. Name is Dr. Brooke Goldner from Goodbye Lupus, and this is Wellness Wednesday, where I come on live. It's public service to help you live a better life, a healthier life. With any questions I can answer about health, about diet, about motivation, emotional well-being, all of those things. Now, of course, this cannot substitute for medical advice, and you should see your doctor before making any major changes to your diet, but I'm here to help every way I can. So I always like to start out with any kind of news and information. Hi, Francis, first time on. Nice to see you. It's definitely not my first time. Hey, everybody. Hey, Hansu. It's so nice to see everyone. Say hello. I see everyone on Instagram coming in and YouTube and Facebook as well. So good to see all of you. Okay. So news and motivation. Well, first, let me get the news out of the way. We do have a rapid recovery group starting on Friday. And those of you who know me well know that is a program where instead of just seeing me once a week talking to the public, you see this mug on a daily basis as I help lead people through the process of recovery with emotional help, physical help, lifestyle help, boundary help. We help people with their jobs, with their, anything that's getting in the way of your healing is what we do, as well as keeping you motivated and focused on the most healthy and healing nutrition plan possible. I do personalize it for people who need help with gut issues, kidney issues, heart issues. But the work that we do is to help people get themselves on that plan and stick with it long enough for them to get the results and to also get happier and enjoy the process. I just got off the line with someone who was saying how oat muffins make her happy. And hello, if you're here, you can't, if you see me right before I come on, it's fresh in my mind. And I was like, you got to find happiness outside of that, because I want kale to make you happy. I want healing to make you happy, right? So that's a big part of it. Anyway, 6-week rapid recovery group is starting on Friday. We actually have 2 spots left as of before I started here. But right now I'm talking to several hundred people. So if it's something that you wanted to do, usually we sell out weeks before. But the summertime, a lot of people want to still barbecue their way to worse health before they come in. So there's 2 spots left for anyone who is thinking about getting on there. And then after that, we are going. So I'm really excited for all of you. We have such a wide variety of people in there, people with kidney issues, people with heart issues, people with cancer, people with eating disorders, people with liver disease, lots of people dealing with food addiction. So it's going to be just beautiful. We're all going to work together and heal together. And it's really my honor to take care of all of you. I have been studying all week. That has been my daily work, is really focusing and studying all of your information, everything you shared with me about your traumas, about your health issues, so that I know you when you come into the group. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going right back to doing after this. So I can't stay long. I got work. Okay, so anyone who's looking for that, goodbyelupus.com. Like I said, there's 2 spots left as of today. I know they won't be after today. But let me help you with things that we would do in the group, okay? Things that are really important to helping why people are so successful doing it there. Not just because they can feel my breath on their neck every day. And what did you eat? And how did you sleep? And what's going on with your job? And how things going with your husband? But the most important lesson we teach in the first week, I want you all to learn this too, okay? Those of you who can't be in the group, those of you who can't work with me, I want you to also get the benefit of this. The first thing we work on is, how do you create happiness outside of food, right? So what I was just bringing up, if you're used to happiness coming from eating with other people and certain things, muffins, cake, pizza, cheese, sugar, if you consider that to be happiness, then you will never stick with a diet that can help you long enough to get to recovery, or you'll undo it, because there's a paradigm you've created in your mind that I can be happy or I can be healthy. Does that make sense? Right? Because if eating unhealthy stuff makes me happy, then and eating healthy stuff makes me healthy but unhappy, then you will believe that this is a choice between being happy and being healthy. That's a tough one, right? Because what happens is, for people who have that belief, when your health gets scary enough, you start eating healthy, right? But then the moment you feel better and you're not scared anymore, you're going to want to go back to being happy, right? And so again, this is a very important thing to confront. All of you right now listening who've gone through this in your life, where you've said, okay, I will do it and I'll get better and I'll start getting results. And then, I don't know, the moment things seem okay, I start going backwards and undoing things and eating poorly. It's because you haven't replaced this part of your mindset, is that you can actually be happy and eat healthy. You can have both. And that is the path you want to be on, right? That is the way. For all of you Star Wars fans, this is the way, right? That if you can learn how to be happy in your life, purpose, passion, good relationships with others and yourself, then food can just be food, right? Person I just talked to, she said, I feel like you're telling me, because she has lupus and kidney issues, I feel like you're telling me the only way I can be healthy is if I eat nothing but kale and ice cubes the rest of my life. And I was like, no, but what if it was the case? I could eat nothing but kale and ice cubes and still be happy. Why? Because my happiness doesn't come from my plate. My happiness comes from doing things like this, helping the public. I grew up in a family that stressed service. I've been volunteering at hospitals since I was legally allowed to at 14. Even when I had to spend time in the hospital as a patient, I volunteered my time to help other patients, right? Service makes me happy, right? My family makes me happy, right? While I was working in here before, just working on charts and getting to know my folks, my son, who starts school tomorrow, he hung out and just reading a book next to me, and just knowing he's next to me makes me happy. Family makes me happy. Having a healthy, beautiful marriage makes me happy. The work I do every day, it makes me happy, right? I have a friend who I've reconnected with, who we went to medical school together, and we've been out of touch for 20 years. And I found out he left medicine because he was unhappy, right? He just was unfulfilled and stressed all the time. I love my work. I love it. I wouldn't do anything else. So if I can teach that, and that's what I do every day. That's what I do every day in Rapid Recovery. That's what I'm hoping to inspire you to start doing. If you can learn how to seek out happiness through healthy relationships, which start with yourself, then with others, with purpose and passion, and self-care activities that make you feel good, but also are good for you, then food gets to just be what you need. My joke I always say to people, and I used it today, was I don't need my toothpaste to be a different flavor every day to be happy. I've been using the same mint toothpaste my whole life, and it hasn't had one bit of effect on my mood, because I don't need it to. I don't look forward to brushing my teeth like, oh, can't wait to taste the flavor, right? But we have turned food into drugs in our society. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. I mean, this was done to us. But now people are addicted, and they confuse happiness with addiction. A lot of people are starting to realize that now. That's why when I was looking over the paperwork, I see a lot of people writing, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to food. Because they understand that now. When you continuously do something you know hurts you in spite of knowing better, that's addiction behavior. That doesn't mean you love it. That means you're addicted to it, right? You keep going back to someone who abuses you. There's some addiction there. We call it codependency in psychology, but it's an addiction process, right? You're getting high off of the drama, right? There's something that pulls you back in. So when you can start realizing that there's a problem with your relationship with food, and that food is not there to make you happy, but it is there to make you healthy. And healthy is happiness. And you can have happiness and health. In fact, that is the goal. That's why I love when people graduate my group and they say, I can't believe it, because not only are my kidneys doing well and my lupus antibodies are down and my pain is gone, but I feel so full of joy. And that was the best part, right? When you can realize that you can eat nothing but raw foods and feel joyful, there's no reason to go back, right? So that would be what I want all of you to digest for today. That if you continuously are going back to things that you know are not good for you, that you have to examine the relationship you're having with food. How do you think about it? And are you seeking happiness there? Or, as I've talked about in other Wellness Wednesdays, are you using it as a coping skill that needs to be replaced? When you can work on those things, I work on them every day in Rapid Recovery. We work on everyday coping skills. What went wrong? Why did you eat this? Let's figure out a new way to deal with that same problem. And as you start learning how to do that, food becomes easy. So I hope that helps all of you. Let's jump into all of the questions we got going on here. Okay, let's go over to Smoothie Shred. Let's see here. All right, let's see. May I put an herbal tea bag in my water? I got the B12 you suggested from Amazon. How many drops do I take? Love you so much. Well, thank you, Louise. I love you back. Herbal tea bag, listen, most likely it's fine. It's important to understand that everything that Thomas and I teach comes from results. So we are very much sticklers for that. Unfortunately, out there in the world, there's a lot of folks who just kind of say what they think or say something based off they read, and it drives me up a wall. I just don't believe that that is ethical and scientific. So we only teach results, and all of the results we've gotten have been using just water plain. You can have additional herbal tea, but the water intake is water, right? So since we've never tested herbal tea versus water to see if we get the same results, that's why we always recommend it that way. Most likely it's fine. If you're drinking a gallon of water and there's one herbal tea bag in there for flavor, most likely it's not going to cause an issue. And if you're getting results doing that, it's fine. But like in Rapid Recovery, where we have, 42 days, we are sticklers. Like, we are going to stick to the plan and help you figure out how to stick to the plan. If you're working it on your own and you find that helps you get the water in and you're getting great results, it's most likely okay. Oh, Terry, I'm so glad Wellness Wednesday brings you happiness. It brings me happiness too. Let me see. Plant Powered Bites wants to know, what do you think of medically supervised water-only fasting for autoimmune conditions? I think they're unnecessary. There's a potential for danger. I mean, medically supervised is important. In my experience, so I don't do fasting with folks. I do the opposite of fasting. I do hypernourishment. There are folks that I see that has started with fasting. And when they do that, there is some benefit to it, right? In terms of, if you've been doing nothing but water for a month, smoothies are fantastic, right? Suddenly smoothies and salads feel just as exciting as like a muffin feels to somebody else, right? So for some folks, they find that's a good head start. It helps them with food sensitivities. But I've had quite a few people who have been referred to me who did water fasting and found that they did feel better symptomatically fasting. But the moment they ate anything, even plant-based foods, their symptoms came back. So it didn't heal them. It just gave them this kind of break from their symptoms. And so hypernourishment was still necessary. I did have one client many years ago who was supposed to be in a medically supervised water fast. He actually asked me beforehand, and I told him I did not recommend he do it. He had already done so well, and his kidneys were back to normal. His rash was gone. His hair had grown back. His lupus antibodies were gone. He was doing amazing. I said, why would you do a water fast? And he goes, well, I was reading that it could cure autoimmune disease, and I don't want my disease to ever come back. So even though he had no symptoms and was doing fantastic, he did this water fast. Now, it was supposed to be medically supervised, which they still call it that even when there's like a chiropractor supervising it. I don't understand exactly. Maybe there's a medical doctor who checks the labs. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it was supervised, but nobody was checking his labs, or at least they weren't really looking at them, because he felt better for the first couple of weeks. And then he told me later, when I contacted him, I hadn't heard from him in many months, and I was scared because he used to keep me in the loop on how he was doing. And when I finally heard back from him, he told me this story. He said the first couple of weeks he felt really good, and then he started to feel really badly. And he was telling them, I feel really sick. I feel really bad. I feel very weak. And they were like, oh, detox, this, that, I don't know. And then one day he said, I'm leaving. I feel so weak and sick. I can't stay anymore. And it was, I think 3 weeks in, he calls his wife and says, I'm leaving. I'm going to a hotel. Meet me at the hotel. He stands up to take a shower and collapses. They find him, put him in the hospital. He had collapse of his bone marrow. He stopped making all blood cells, red blood cells, platelets, white blood cells, complete bone marrow collapse. The lupus was flared up by that. He had cognitive issues after that, depression problems. He was the sickest he ever was after that. Now, I would say I have friends that I'm very close to who do MDs, who do medically supervised fasting, who are big proponents of it and they love it. And I asked them that. I said, what happened to this poor man? Because this is terrifying me. And he said, well, if he's already done your program, was he like pretty lean and fit? I said, yeah, the guy was doing CrossFit after doing my program. He had zero body fat, all muscle. He looked amazing. He goes, I think he went into starvation mode because he didn't have any body fat to burn. Most people who do water fast have body fat to burn, and he didn't. That he dropped into a starvation mode that caused that. And that if the doctors had been watching his labs, they could have prevented it. But for me, this is one example, right? I know that there are hundreds or thousands of people who have had great benefits from water fasting. But this one example was traumatizing for me because I've never had that happen from someone hypernourishing, right? So that scared me. And now there's people probably freaking out. But again, if it is medically supervised and you're feeling good and they're watching your thing, does it need to be a month though? I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. So again, I'm results-based. And so almost losing my client all that time ago, it really terrified me. And so I've always been like, gosh, if you're going to do it, don't do it for long and make sure someone's actually following your labs. But it won't, like this works though. Wouldn't you rather just hyper nourish and give your body the actual supplies it needs to repair the damage versus just starvation? So I don't know, I'm probably going to get people upset about that, but that is an actual case I had. And so it's why I don't recommend it, especially long-term for folks when you can do hypernourishment and actually get that healing to happen. All right. Let me see here. And Fernanda says, I've been told by a rheumatologist that since I'm symptom-free for RA, they will not do labs because I'm not on medication. She said the labs are only given if the patient's on medication. Hey, if you're symptom-free, Fernanda, hallelujah and congratulations. I mean, that's fantastic. It sounds like you said goodbye to RA. So I'm happy for you. If you want labs for confirmation, you might have to have another doctor ask for them, but I'd be celebrating big time. That's really, really cool. Congratulations. All right, let's see what's going on over in the YouTube universe. Let's see. And then I'll come to you next, Instagram, I promise. Let me see. Let's see. All right. Peter wants to know, he said, I'm in 8 of Goodbye Lupus protocol. My acne is not yet improved. I'm doing 2 pounds of cruciferous, a gallon of water, flax oil, and flax seeds, no other foods except for some raw veggies like carrots. Well, I can say you're definitely hypernourishing, so that's a good thing. So then I'd be looking at other aspects of what's going on with the acne, right? So if you know that you are, actually you didn't, oh yeah, gallon of water, you know you're well nourished and well hydrated, it might be that your skin needs some time. Skin is often the last thing to get better. But at that level of nourishment, I would assume that you'd get some more results. So then I'd be looking at what are you putting on your face in terms of soaps and lotions and things like that. See if there's anything else irritating it, as well as I'm sure you've probably gone to a dermatologist, but sometimes there's infections that they will help you with as well. But clear skin is one of the consistent side effects of doing this program. So it might, like I said, be that you just need a little more time and your body's working on other things first. But if it continues to not get better, then, well, even now, I would look at making sure you're not putting anything on your face that causes any drying or issues there too. You are benefiting. You can't have all of that and not benefit. Let me see here. Let me see. All right, Nicole says, hi. Hi, Nicole. All right, let me see. Wow, Laura, look at you go. Hi, Kapula. And Lux wants to know, is it enough to just have the smoothies all day or should we eat too? Well, the good news is having smoothie is eating, right? It is eating. You're just getting it pre-chewed for you. That's all. So for a lot of folks, they like to have a combination where they'll do smoothies during the day, salad at night. That's what I usually do. Smoothies are very convenient. Salads take time to chop, right? So I usually do that when I'm ready to sit down. But I do have folks that will do all of their healing work with just smoothies and they love it because it's so easy, especially single moms. Oh my goodness. They are so happy when all they have to do is blender and water, and then go live their life and focus on their self-care, hot baths, exercise, all the things that they thought they didn't have time for, but realized that they need time for. So I would definitely do that if you like it and it's more convenient. If you want more variety, that's why I have my book, Goodbye Lupus, Hello Delicious, right? So that book has all the recipes in there are compliant with my protocols, and you can have just so many different ways to eat cruciferous vegetables, from cruciferous lasagna to salads to wraps to smoothies. So the key is that you find the one you're willing to do. That's the most important thing. If you love salad and you want to eat salad all day, perfect. If you love smoothies and that's easy for you, awesome. If you're one of those people that needs variety, enjoy, right? But consistency is what matters most. So it's totally fine. All right. And Kapula wants to know, how am I? I'm doing well, thank you. I'm excited. My son's about to start school, but I'm gonna miss seeing him around the house, you know. But yeah, I'm doing good. I started a new boot camp, so I'm very, very sore. So I can't really raise my arms up too high right now, but that's all right. That's all right. It's good stuff. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. But Luke says, I'm not a big eater. I wish I could just have smoothies. Enjoy. Go for it. All right. All right. And Letitia wants to know, do you offer just the therapy through your wellness programs and follow-ups? So yes, I still do therapy with folks. I also do wellness coaching for people who are not in a state where I can do things like psychotherapy and medical work. But yes, I do. For some folks, they see me more for working through other lifestyle, emotional stuff. Most people work on both nutrition and lifestyle. But yeah, I do all the things. And people see me for many things. Sometimes people think that I'll have people who get guilty about taking a spot from me when they just want to work on wellness. But I think it's great. We had someone in our last rapid recovery group who was a grandma who had no health issues. She had already seen Thomas just to get some tips and pointers on fitness, but grandma, and no health problems at all. And she joined my rapid recovery group, and she's like, is that all right? I just want to just feel great as an older woman. I want to be there for my grandkids. And I just love you and Thomas. I just want to do whatever you guys have. So I said, sure, you can be there. And it was awesome because she was a role model for people. And so she had so much energy. She would go for her morning walk, and then she'd go and walk her neighbors. She'd go out and get the other neighbors that needed exercise and take them out. And she said she felt like $1 million. So better to go, wherever you are, you want to optimize, right? So yeah, sometimes people will just see me for that. They're saying, hey, I don't really have any health issues, but I want to make sure I don't develop any. I want to see how my lab's looking. Is there any suggestions? And then of course, a huge amount of people I see are right at the cusp, people on dialysis and, lung failure and liver failure. And, people often come to me as a last resort. They're like, not the vegetables. Okay, the vegetables, right? So, but yes, I help people with all the different things that they want. If you want my time to support you, I'm happy to give it. You don't have to be a certain level of sick to do that. Okay, let's see here. I always tell people, even with my group, the only requirement is that you're motivated and that you're willing to post every day, no matter what. That's the requirement. You don't have to be on the verge of death. In fact, it's nice to have a variety where some people are working mostly on weight, and other folks are working on food addiction, and other people are working on, restoring their kidney or their heart or their liver. Other folks are trying to get down their cancer markers or whatever they're doing, right? You're allowed to be there working on your stuff. What we ask for is just commitment, because if you take a spot, use it and participate. That's the only thing we ask people. All right, let's see here. Let's see some other YouTube. Hi, Shiva. Let's see. Philip wants to know, isn't sriracha sauce processed? You think you mean sriracha? I don't think it's processed, actually. I don't know. I have to look at it. The problem of it in recovery is there's just sugar as an ingredient, but people can use hot sauces in my program, and it's fine. I haven't seen people have issues with the hot sauce. All right. So Laura says, on the Goodbye Autoimmune protocol, I was doing amazing. No pain, fatigue gone after 9 years, sick with POTS and Lyme. I'm now in a month-long slump of fatigue after feeling like a teen again at 64. Any pointers? So first of all, I love what you wrote because it really shows what you're able to do, right? So that, you spend 9 years in a slump feeling sick, and then you do the Goodbye Autoimmune protocol where you focus on the nutrition for healing, right? And all the emotional work. And then you feel like a teenager, right? Awesome. So one thing I'd be looking at is what changed. So a lot of times when people feel very fatigued and worn out, it's not even because of their food, it's because of their emotional stress. Whenever people start working on their nutrition for recovery, whenever they don't feel well, they always assume it's the food. I see that all the time where I get, I give all of my clients my cell phone so they can text me if they need any support. And I will get these messages saying, hey, I'm not feeling well. I've gotten, I'm feeling fatigued. Is it the kale? Do I need to switch it to chard? And I'm like, wait. What else is going on? And then, oh, well, I lost my job. I'm getting a divorce. And I'm like, it's not the kale, right? So it's not always the food. Sometimes people get laser focused on food. Usually fatigue, when you're looking at fatigue, here's the main causes of fatigue, right? Number one is not getting enough sleep. People always forget that one. You do need sleep to recharge your battery, right? You wouldn't walk around with your phone just having charged it for 5 minutes, right? You know it's going to die. We need fully charged battery. Sleep's how we do it, right? Number two is being properly nourished, right? If you're doing hypernourishment, you're nourished, right? But malnourishment causes fatigue. 3, dehydration. When people are dehydrated, they're exhausted. Even small amounts of dehydration decreases cognitive function, mental performance, as well as energy and metabolism. So a lot of times it's dehydration, but if you're doing hypernourishment still, you shouldn't be dehydrated. And the other one is stress, emotional distress. So I know when I go through something that's emotionally stressful, I need to go to bed early, and sometimes I'll feel tired the next day. But I know it's not because of my nourishment, it's not because of kale, it's because there's stress, and stress is exhausting. Anxiety is exhausting. Most people I know with anxiety, they look hyper because they're always freaking out and stressed out, right? But they're exhausted because it takes so much energy to stay in that state all the time. So if you are getting enough sleep and you're nourished and you're hydrated, I'd be looking at what the emotional trigger is. Now, if you changed your diet and you've been adding in junk, of course, then I'd be looking at getting you back on the nutrition that was making you feel so good. But if you didn't change your nutrition, then it's not the food, and it's something else that's happened. It also can be other things like medications or medicines that make people feel tired. Supplements can make you tired. Things like magnesium makes you sleepy. So, look to see what else has changed. But if the food's the same, it's something else. If the food has changed, then yes, investigate what you've been doing. And hopefully you'll be feeling back like a rambunctious teen again soon. All right, let's see here. Let's go down to Instagram, get some love. Instagram love. All right. Amanda wants to know, were you able to hypernourish in Japan? If so, can you explain how, please? Did you make smoothies? Did you make your own salads? We were nourished. We weren't hypernourished there, but we also have no health issues. So if I need to take a little time where I'm at a lower level of nourishment, I do not worry because I am very nourished. This body has not had a health issue for, it'll be 19 years in October. So I can go down to normal nourishment, but we did eat a lot of raw food. So in Japan right now, we found smoothie places. We found an awesome salad place that would, just make these big kale salads for us. Every restaurant we went to had salad with the food. So we ate a lot of our raw, healthy foods every day. There's lots of options out there. Absolutely. If I was sick or still in my step down phase, then I would have been able to do it pretty easily. I know that we would have been able to. Even in our hotel, there was a little grocery shop on the first floor where we could have gone to. So I've yet to be anywhere where I could not keep that going, especially when you're in countries that have, really easy access to clean food, supermarkets, things like that. Yeah. All right, let's see here. All right. Hello, Succulent Living Maria. Thank you, Angie Bayless. Let's see here. Okay. Jazreen wants to know, hello, please share when you started smoothies for your babies and what you put them in the measurement wise. So I started giving them smoothies at 4 months, and I actually just took the smoothie that I was drinking and I put that into a bottle. And then I would, at first, at 4 months, I was diluting it with breast milk So I would put my smoothie, and they're little bottles, and put it in the bottle and add some breast milk to it. And then I started doing exclusively smoothies shortly after that. Babies love them. They really do. And it's great when you can get their taste buds going. And I actually had my kids raw the first year of their life. So the first food was avocado, then mashed up bananas, then any other vegetable I could think of, even squashes. If it was like a tough vegetable, I would use my Vitamix to blend it up with a little breast milk to make it a little more mushy. But yeah, we did all fresh fruits and vegetables, all raw foods for their first year of life to really help them develop good health. And they have extraordinary health. They've had them, that they never had any health problems. And even now Solomon is 15 and he's never had any kind of health issue, right? He got an injury from falling, but that can happen. But yeah, he's been extraordinary. I mean, he never even had COVID and he was in public school. Like, he's just extraordinary healthy. So we did that. And then even the first year birthday, why do people give their first year kid, like a kid that's 1 year old, cake with sugar in it? Like, why? No, I didn't do that. I made a raw cake with dates and cacao and banana. And that was exciting for them. So I really think that when someone's developing and growing, it's one of the most important times to make sure that their nourishment is really, really good and healthy. People kind of do it in a backwards way when you think about it, where they say, oh, you're a baby, you're healthy, there's no problems, we'll give you the sugar, we'll give you the junk because you're healthy. But then if you're older and you're sick, then you need to be careful. I kind of do it the other way and say, well, they're growing, he's creating brain tissue, he's creating organs, he's creating his entire body, his nervous system. I want it to be healthy. And I never wanted them to suffer from the things that I did. So, that's the way we did it. And we did not give them the taste of real sugar until 3 years old. That was the first time I let them try something that had processed something with sugar in it, like a vegan cupcake or something. And so it's been kind of nice because even, Solomon, he can eat stuff like that, but he doesn't crave it. And even when he has it, after a few bites, he's like, God, it's just too sweet. I don't like it. But he can eat, 5 apples in a row. So it's nice. If you have a little one, think about that. You can raise them without the food addictions you had, without all of the stress that you had to go through to get healthy, and without the worry that they're going to get the illnesses that you had to deal with, right? Or the rest of the family, right? High blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, autoimmune disease. These are all from the diets that these kids are eating, and we can raise them in a better way. If you want to know why I let them have processed foods here and there once they were over 3, so that they could understand how to navigate that stuff. Someone who's healthy can have the occasional oil or sugar. Even the people who've graduated my program can do that, right? When you're maintaining health. So I wanted to teach them that balance, so it wasn't like a all or nothing situation. So every day, smoothies, salads, plant-based foods without oil or sugars. And then on the weekend, we would call it recreational eating. We still do, like, oh, we're going to do any recreational eating? Yeah, let's go here. And, they put a little oil in the beans, but okay, right? So I wanted to teach them how to have that balance where they know how to nourish themselves, but also how to maintain health. And if they're sick, to go right into the raw eating, get to healthy, and come back. I wanted them to know how to do that. So we don't talk much about kids here. So good question, and glad to be able to share about that. Let me see here. Taisei says, hi, Dr. G. Can you help with blocked fallopian tubes? Do I need to drink only the smoothie? Thanks for your answer. This sounds like a medical urgent issue right now. A blocked fallopian tube sounds like a problem you need to see a gynecologist and a gynecological surgeon for. Listen, I've helped people reverse fibroids and cysts and menstrual issues, PCOS, things like that. But if there's a blockage there, I want you to go find out what that is and what they do to fix it. Sorry, it's a bit out of my realm right now. Angie's here for the motivation. Yes. All right. And Alyssa, Ashley Design wants to know, how quickly can this protocol affect the eyes? You didn't tell me what disease you're talking about, but I would say the soonest I've seen anybody with a breakthrough in eye issues was 2 weeks. We had someone who was in my program with inflammation of the eyes that would get injections in her eyes every 2 weeks for steroids. And she went in for her follow-up after 2 weeks in rapid recovery group, and they held off the steroids because she looked so good. Most folks, though, don't even get testing done until they've been in it longer. Like Bernard and his glaucoma was reversed. He went in at week 5 and they told him you don't have glaucoma anymore. Was it reversed in week 4, week 3? I don't know. People often after the first month will say that they're not using their reading glasses as much, or that they have to change their prescription on their glasses. So we've seen improvement from everything from thyroid eye disease, glaucoma, vision, uveitis, birdshot uveitis. So there's many different ways the eyes receive the nutrition. And so it's pretty cool to see how much they can improve along with the rest of us. Oh, hi, Joyce. Is your first time live too? Nice to see you, Joyce. All right, let me see. Butchen says, have you been informed by any of your clients that plant milk makes them feel unwell? I feel really unwell with it. There are people who have sensitivities to it. It's one of the reasons why I recommend specifically the unsweetened almond milk. One, that was the only really non-dairy milk around back when we first started doing this, except for soy milk. But we noticed this for some people, the soy milk gave them some inflammation issues. And so we don't want some people to get inflamed. That's the whole point of our protocol, is it's really narrowed down to here's the nutrition that your body uses to recover and repair itself, nothing else, right? Now, of course, there's still people who can have sensitivities and things, especially with autoimmune. But yes, I have seen that. There are some people who just don't do the plant milks, or people who are sensitive to nuts, so they don't do the unsweetened almond milk. They have milks now made of everything. There's quinoa milk, there's macadamia milk, there's coconut milk, which is, that's been a milk that, but there's so many different options. But in our protocol, we usually use the unsweetened almond milk and the ones that have minimal fat and no sugar added. And most people can tolerate some of that, but there's no reason to have it. If it bothers you, I would just not use it at all. All right, let's see what regular Facebook has going on. All right, so Abby says, hi, Dr. G, I had a total thyroidectomy in 2008, and I've been dependent on meds. Would you recommend doing hypernutrition or follow the Good Autoimmune protocol? Am I able to grow my thyroid with the protocol? All right, Abby, so no, I have not seen people grow back a brand new organ that was removed ever. I've never seen that. That would be quite amazing. I don't know the underlying disease. So when you're asking me if you want to do my full protocol, I don't really know for what. If it's to grow back the organ, I can't see how that's possible. I mean, that would be, like I said, pretty remarkable. But why did you have it removed? Did you have thyroid cancer? Did you have Graves' disease, right? So if you had underlying diseases, then doing the protocol can be very helpful, because while the thyroid being removed might have solved the issue of the labs and having too much thyroid hormone or having the cancer, it doesn't resolve what caused it. So I'd be looking more about getting your health back from whatever the cause of all of that was, versus, getting your thyroid back. The people who have been able to get off thyroid meds are the people I see with Hashimoto's or hypothyroid, where they have a disease that's attacked the thyroid and it's caused their thyroid to not be able to output thyroid hormone in the same way. And what happens is, for most folks that I work with in rapid recovery, especially, they find by the 3rd week, that same dose of thyroid hormone they've been taking forever now suddenly is making them jittery. They've got diarrhea, anxiety, they're sweating. Their TSH, when they check it, is 0.3. You go, oh my gosh, my TSH was 2 before, and now it's 0.3. And what that means is the thyroid that was inflamed has healed up, and it's starting to produce its own thyroid hormone. And now they're getting too much between their own thyroid hormone and the exogenous or outside source of thyroid hormone. So those are the cases where we see improvement like that. But I've never had someone who had a complete thyroidectomy try to do it to bring it back. But thankfully, you can take replacement hormone for that. Other organs can't be replaced with a pill, but thankfully the thyroid can. That's why they don't treat it as autoimmune disease when people get Hashimoto's. Hi, Connie from Canada. Oh, thanks, Carla. Love you back. Thank you so much. Let me see. One more from regular Facebook. We go back to Smoothie Shred. All right. Let's see here. So Caitlin says, recently diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, on infusions as well as Mesovan, and trying to lose weight. What would you recommend as a picky eater that will not only help me lose weight, but feel better, improve gut health? So I have really awesome results with reversing both ulcerative colitis and Crohn's with our Good Autoimmune Disease protocol. And you want to do the full protocol, because I've not yet met someone with Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, any kind of bowel disease, IBS, any bowel disease. I've not yet met one person who doesn't also have some other stress going on in their life that either is ongoing, like anxiety, or that triggered it. So I like the Good Autoimmune protocol because we can work on the optimal nutrition and the emotional well-being and lifestyle and self-care and all of those things as well to make sure you're optimizing your recovery. But I would go all in on the Goodbye Autoimmune protocol. All right, let's see. Smoothie Shred, if anyone is doing here. Oh, glad you're enjoying it, Betty. All right. Shipper wants to know, Dr. G, is it okay to consume 2 tablespoons of cold pressed flax oil by mouth every day? Yes, it is. That's totally fine. In fact, that's great. Let's see. Stephanie says, I'm being put on hydrochloroquine, but in so much pain now. I go to the eye doctor every 6 months due to almost having glaucoma. Therefore, I don't think I should take prednisone now during the I manage my pain until hopefully the new meds kick in. So there's a lot going on here because you're on, so being on hydrochloroquine and prednisone, both of them have side effects that can affect your eyes. It sounds like you're having eye issues. So this is a very important thing to talk to your doctors about. Say, am I on the right medications to make sure that I don't have any permanent damage to my eyes? In the meantime, how do you manage pain? So I don't know. I'm assuming it's lupus because you're on the Plaquenil, but you didn't really give me too much. What can you do for just pain alone? So I can't tackle the medicines for you in terms of what to do because, again, I don't have your whole health history and I can't practice medicine here, right? But talk to your doctor about that. But in terms of pain, you can take prescription pain medicines. You can take over-the-counter pain medicines. You can also take curcumin. Curcumin's been found to be helpful. So if people take 1,000 milligrams twice a day of curcumin with the additives like bioperine, the black pepper, stuff like that, that has been shown to reduce pain. There was a clinical trial for rheumatoid arthritis that found that when people took 2,000 milligrams of curcumin a day, it will lower their pain meds for RA. And then as soon as they stopped taking it and they switched, it was placebo. So they switched to placebo and then they needed the same level of medicine. So it wasn't curative, but it can help with pain in the moment. But in the meantime, talk to your doctors about best ideas for your medications. Okay, let's see here. All right, YouTube. So many questions today, so many different kinds of questions. So I think you're all helping each other with all these questions. All right, Bree says, I'm 27. I was just diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary hypertension. I've been on a Goodbye Autoimmune protocol for 3 weeks now. Do I need less salt than 1 teaspoon? Have you had success with this disease before? I have had success with it before. The sodium needs are pretty much the same, especially with the water intake. If your hypertension is reacting to it, you might have to lower both the water and the sodium. But if you're going to have the gallon of water, you do physically need the sodium. So you might want to lower to the 96 ounces or whatever you can tolerate and then see how you do with the sodium and your blood pressure. Usually as people, when they first start trying to do that, they'll notice their blood pressure goes up initially, especially with, more water and salt. And sometimes they'll panic. We had someone do rapid recovery with Thomas leading it, a private program, because we both do private programs. And she was so scared because whenever she adds the salt, her blood pressure goes up. And I said, don't worry about it. It's going to come back down again. But she was worried about it. I said, but that's why you're here, right? So we can watch you. And at first, the first week, it's like, oh my gosh, it's higher than normal, but it wasn't dangerously high. She didn't have really bad hypertension, but it was higher than normal. And then the second week, it was like, and then it came down and it was okay. So if you're doing everything right, your blood vessels should become more pliable and relaxed and blood pressure should come down. But if in the meantime, you're very sensitive to that, you should talk to your doctor about it. And if you are sensitive and those are dangerously high blood pressures, then you may need to cut back on the sodium, which also would necessitate cutting back on the water as well. All right. All right, let's see here. Looking, there's so many questions here. Alexandra wants to know, what is the perfect daily dosage of D for children and adults to maintain a good level? So there's a range here. The most important thing you can do if you're not sure about your vitamin D level is to test it. And I've tested it even in children just to find out where they are with it. So once you're at a good level, usually 500 IU or so to 1,000 to 2,000 a day maintains it. It just depends on the person. I know that was kind of a big range. When it's low, you do need to do a loading dose to bring it up. But once it's up and it's above 40, 70 is like a nice number or so, but definitely above 40, maintaining it with like 1,000 to 2,000 a day is usually fine. If it gets really high, then cut back and try, 1,000 a day or 500 a day. But high hasn't seemed to cause problems in people, whereas low will affect your immune function. So yeah, a lot of times the children's supplements will be half the amount. But if you actually have a measurement from your bloodstream of your actual level of D, then it's easy for me to pick, here's how much you should take to bring it up or to maintain it. But without knowing where you are, it's very hard for me to pick that number. All right, let's see here. Oh, thanks for the hearts, Philip. Let's see. All right, IL wants to know, any success with painful menstrual cramps of Goodbye Lupus protocol? How long to see results? Yes, we see results with that all the time. So the cool thing, one of the cool things about having a 6-week group is most people who have periods will have one during that time period, right? Most folks who have menstrual cycles will have one within that 6 weeks. And for most folks in there, their first cycle they have within the group, they already notice, oh my gosh, I didn't get PMS this time. And sometimes that's only a couple weeks in. They go, oh my God, I don't have PMS. I don't have all the cramps. I'm actually feeling pretty good. Whereas usually I'm on the bed with painkillers. So it can be pretty quick. But usually within that first 6 weeks, even the first 4 weeks, people find that their next cycle is already dramatically better. It's really, really good. All right, let's see here. Glad you like your smoothie, Molly. It's a good thing. You do tend to love it and then crave it, right? All right, let me see. All right, Megan wants to know, all right, it's my first day back on the Goodbye Lupus protocol. I've come down with a fever, cough, and other symptoms. Should we try to exercise when we're sick, or is it okay to just rest, hydrate, and healthy? Okay, well, I don't want you to over-exercise because I know you. So I would say, one, if you have a fever, cough, and other symptoms, I'm glad you're on the Goodbye Lupus protocol because that's going to help your body recover as quickly as possible. So very smart thing to do. Gentle exercise can help when people have a cold. Things like having a little bit of a walk, doing some body weight kind of movements can help you. But you don't want to do anything super aggressive. You want to let yourself recover. So water intake, nutrition, gentle movements, walking, things like that, and then let your body recover. Yes, light workouts can help, but you don't want to put yourself through a lot of stress. My husband would do that. Like, it's rare anybody has any symptoms here of a cold, but if they happen, they last less than a day. But anytime he's felt that, he always hits the gym just gently, to get a little bit of adrenaline moving, get his muscles moving, get things kind of passing through. And he's always loved to do that. All right, let's see here. Angela wants to know, is there any hope for stage 4 liver cancer metastasized to the lungs, especially for someone who's set in their low plant diet? That's a tough question. Is there any hope for recovery in someone who doesn't want to change their diet and has metastatic cancer? There's always hope. There's always hope. Miracles happen. Miracles can happen with medications too. There's a lot of people who beat cancer with medical treatment. So is it possible? There's always possibility. Would it be better to do everything you can to get better? Of course. So once cancer has spread throughout the body, it's very hard to medically control it anymore. But at least if you are eating a diet that is, let's say, like a raw hypernourishment diet, like the Goodbye Lupus protocol, you can at least empower your body to do everything it can. Whether or not it's enough once the cancer has spread, enough to stop it in the long run, there's no way to say. But if it's a person who's not willing to eat healthy and not willing to, and already this sick, then I would say spend time with them and love them and respect their choices of what they're going to do, and just make peace and make sure you say everything you want to say to them and enjoy them as much as you can. I'm sorry that you have someone in your life like that. I'm very sorry. All right, let's see. And Taisha Sky Dragon, cool name. Thank you, Dr. Goldner. I've already normalized my liver enzymes just by starting the diet. For some reason, my ANA went up 2 points. Well, first of all, that is very common, the liver enzymes. Most people who especially do my Goodbye Lupus protocol or Goodbye Autoimmune protocol, liver enzymes are usually normal within the first 3 weeks. Even people who have fatty liver disease, liver enzymes normalize very quickly. The ANA your ANA wouldn't go up from doing the protocol. So most likely the ANA was already up. Most people don't get their ANA tested very often. So the first thing I would look at is, when did you get your last ANA? If it was a year ago, then this is your starting ANA. So you want to take whatever the current test is and make that your starting level. Okay. But just know that the nutrition won't both heal your liver and create more antibodies for autoimmune disease at the same time. You are either getting healthier as an organism or you're getting sicker, but you're not both, right? So your liver is healing up and happy, and the immune system is also healing and happier. So just take that as your starting ANA, and it will continue to get better as you continue on. And congratulations on healing your liver. Super, super cool. All right, Instagram. Let's see here. All right. Carp452, have you ever had a client with EO and extremely bad reflux? Yes, I have. That is a tough one because the esophagitis can make it very difficult to eat well. And so they usually need help medically at the same time as nutritionally as well. But I've definitely seen improvements there. Nanslin, can you explain why frozen flax oil is not good? I so admire your upbeat approach and your work you do. Thank you. Upbeat's just kind of my baseline. All right. So why frozen flax oil is not good? Untested, right? So remember, I am so results oriented because I think the most ethical thing I can present to the public is what's been tested to work, right? Once we are in the hypothetical, now I'm guessing, and you are too important to me for me to guess. So it might be fine. The flax oil might be just as active, and it might not be. And so it's the might that gets me. I don't know. The thing about flax oil is, if you smell it with test, it'll smell fishy if it's rotten. So once it's oxidized, fishy smell, you got to let it go. Be sure that you're smelling the oil itself, because sometimes around the rim will get oxidized, but the inside's still fresh. So make sure you're not smelling like the outside, but the actual oil, pour it onto your spoon, smell it. If it's fishy, bad. Is some of it broken down in the freezer? Maybe. I just don't know. And so it really just depends on the situation, right? So again, in my rapid recovery programs, you're working with me every day for a set period of time. Private, 4 weeks. Group, 6 weeks. So I don't like to waste a moment on maybe. I want to make sure that you are doing everything you can, that you are healthier tomorrow than today and healthier the next day than the day before. And so maybe's got to go. And so we're very just focused on only the things we have proven work. And that's how we do it. But is it possible? That's fine. Yeah, you can try it and see how you do. But yeah, that's why. That's why. Hi, Diana. Love back at you. All right. Demoto99, what is the single, all caps, best thing to do to alleviate lupus symptoms? Do the Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol. Right? It's the single best thing to do, right? Change your lifestyle and your diet to one that supports your recovery, right? The Goodbye Lupus protocol, that's the nutrition part of the protocol, right? So Goodbye Lupus protocol is the nutrition. Goodbye Autoimmune protocol incorporates all the lifestyle components, right? The nutrition has been so simplified. We have worked so hard to make it a simple protocol. Here's the nutrients your body uses for cellular repair, cellular metabolism, cellular function, organ function, immune function. You eat these things at these doses, and you're going to have a transformation in your health. Hallelujah, right? It's super easy and simple. So do that, right? And if you have other things in your life, like you also know that you have to work on your self-care and your sleep, do the full Goodbye Autoimmune protocol. That's the single best thing you can do, right? It's why I come on here and teach it. It's why I donate my time to do this. Like, this is the most important thing to me, is to help you figure out how you can get your health back. So that it is the single best thing that you can do. Listen, I spent 12 years of my life sick with lupus, and I still found purpose and love and passion, but I hurt all the time. I took injections for blood thinners every day. I had to take painkillers for my joint pain, for my migraines. And since 2005, I have been lupus free without needing medication, without having pain, without having any symptoms, without any blood clots. Like, it's the single best thing I ever did, right? Because having had done that, my life grew so much. Those children they said I could never have, I was able to have them. Looking forward to growing old with my spouse and feeling good rather than waiting for the day I become so disabled that he has to take care of me. That'll happen, right? Being able to give this protocol away and help people get their lives back, that happened. It's the single best thing that I ever did. So it should be the single best thing that you do for yourself as well. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see here. All right, let's go over to Smoothie Shred. All right, Smoothie Shred seems happy. All right. I love it. The reason I'm scrolling is our Smoothie Shred Facebook group is so busy that even when I'm on live, and this is my community, this is our free community, is Smoothie Shred on Facebook. Even when I'm live, they're just posting and supporting each other, posting recipes and asking each other questions. Like they're ignoring me. There's like 20 posts since I came in live. They're like, hey, Dr. G, anyway, here's this recipe I just made. Okay, Naomi says, hi, Dr. G, I've just started and I'm struggling to get through a salad and smoothies. But I saw my liver doctor, my sugar 11 and 12 for the first time in 8 years, and it's come down 7.5. Imagine what could happen when I stick to raw veggies and smoothies. I've got inflammation and my left ankle is very sore. I think you meant inflammation. What can I do to help my ankle? So first of all, congratulations, right? So every step you take in the right direction, your body's aware of it and notices it, right? And so the fact that you've got your sugar down for the first time in 8 years, that is so awesome. And you're right. Imagine what you could do when you do it all, right? So the most important thing is if you're not able to meet the full protocol, at least don't eat anything that's bad for you, right? That's one thing. So even if you're under eating, you're going to continue to get results unless you undo it by eating something bad for you, right? So Naomi, start there. Don't eat anything that's bad for you. And then maybe play a bit with how you get the food in. So maybe you need to eat small meals every 2 hours instead of eating 2 or 3 big meals. Maybe you'll feel better just doing a heavier vegetable. So, you know, when people make smoothies, they usually use leafy greens. Leafy greens, a pound of leafy greens is like a big container, right? But a pound of cauliflower or broccoli, it's like this big. It's like 8 florets, nothing, right? Depending on the size of the florets. But I mean, it's a small meal. So sometimes it's just kind of changing it up and going, okay, let me use some heavier vegetables. Let me split up my meals so you can get it all in. Because that's something you can do to help with the inflammation. If your left ankle is very sore and inflamed, also make sure you're not weight bearing on it. You can buy even on Amazon or in the drugstore some braces that are loose, you know, but like bandage it up so that it doesn't get weight on it if you need to walk on it, or use crutches or something to kind of stay off of it. Keep it elevated and ice it when you do sit down. And then go all out on your nutrition to make sure that you're getting what you need. If you're having continued problems on it, you know, of course, get it checked out by a doctor. Make sure you didn't break it or, you know, need some other medical help. I'm glad someone from Smoothie Shred still watching. Literally, like if you could see the posts in here. If you are on Facebook and you're not in our free group, you should join it. It's just so cool. Somebody's complaining that her teenage boys keep eating all of her frozen fruit and guacamole, and even though she wants it for smoothies. Someone's celebrating buying a Vitamix. Yeah, and then beautiful salad that somebody. Oh, here's a cool one. Hey, all right. So we have someone in Smoothie Shred who just is celebrating. I am on day 8 of no medication, and I'm feeling better and better. And she has myasthenia gravis. And so since she didn't share it publicly, I'm not going to give away her other information, but people in our Smoothie Share group also share results. So it's so cool because they're sharing the results. So congratulations. So she has myasthenia gravis, which is an autoimmune disease, and she's off her medicines and feels great. And it says, the joy I feel to feel so strong and good when I wake up in the morning is amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Like, you're welcome. And I'm so happy for you. So what a cool way to finish it. So she was posting that while I was coming on here. So it's just a really cool thing. Or someone was commenting on that. That's why it's at the top. But yeah, it's such a beautiful thing to be in that community. So if you are not and you're on Facebook, I mean, those of us who are over 40, we have Facebook accounts. But even if you are younger, and you would like to be in a community of people who are all working on this protocol together, if you go to smoothieshred.com, which is in my link tree, which is in this, Smoothie Shred is there. And if you go there, there is a link to our group from there. And I recommend it because there's copycats. Anyone who received a friend request from Goodbye Lupus, that was a copycat. Some people think that, you know, it sucks. You know, people are trying to take advantage of people by putting my face on their programs. Anyway, so that got taken down. But no, there's no friend request from Goodbye Lupus because that's a page, not a personal account. But Smoothie Shred, if you go through that, it's a really cool community, and we love our shredders, and we love seeing them support each other. We jump in whenever we can, and we also love celebrating with all of you. So it's pretty awesome. All right, everybody, this has been a really cool session. Lots of new questions, things that have come up that we haven't gotten asked before, or at least not in a while. So I love that. I will be back again next week. Reminder once again. The group that starts this Friday, we do have only 2 spots left for the group that starts this Friday. So if you need this level of help, but you know you need it daily to get there, that's the way to go. If you just need your free information, your coaching, I'm here for that too. So make sure you check the link tree. There's books, there's classes, there's tons of free posts. Look at my page. There's tons of free posts, and I'll be back here Wednesday, same time, coaching as well. But if you're looking for the group for me to help you out, Friday, we start. I'm super excited about that. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I hope this helped you. And remember, the best time to start is right now. So go out there and take really good care of yourself. The people who love you really need you to do it. So I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for coming, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.